Live from Toronto, Nova Scotia, it's the 2016 Eastern Canadian Rugby Championships here on Bell Live TV 1. Joined by Gino Carew, the president of Rugby Nova Scotia, Dan Hobson for the call. It is under 18 men's gold underway. Team Newfoundland and maroon and black stripes taking on Team Nova Scotia and their navy and gold. Things are underway. A couple of blocks here for Nova Scotia. Ball down inside the Newfoundland zone. Yeah, stoppage in play here just at the early goings here. So what are you anticipating here, Gino, for this first one?
Well, I think it's going to be a good match. Newfoundland definitely had Nova Scotia's number in the round robin, but seemed to wake Nova Scotia up, and they went on to win their next two games, securing some bonus points. So it should be a good match. I'd say Newfoundland is favorite in this one, so Nova Scotia is a bit of the underdog here. So we saw a couple of attempted box kicks get blocked there. Then we had a little knock on. So we got a scrum here. It'll be good to see how the first scrum goes.
Of course, Newfoundland has been really doing very well here in the championships and looking to add another one to their pile to head back to Newfoundland Labrador. So. And, of course, they win that one. Now there's another one. That was a little bit of a low driving kick as they were trying to get it into touch. But it just right into the back of a Newfoundland player, so he'll feel a sting of that for a few seconds.
Yeah, a little bit of nerves, I think, at the outset here. So they just need to settle themselves down, and then I think you'll see the level of play increase here. So a little chat here for our match officials, just sorting out that with the kick. We're going to have a scrum down, Nova Scotia ball.
Midway between the 10-meter line and the 22-meter line. They set things up here. Here's a usual question, interesting question. Like we've in other sports, you know, they say that the officials let a lot go because of a championship on the line. Rugby, is that about the same case sometimes or not very much?
I think for us, the best we can expect out of the match official is that we don't even notice he's out there. So if he controls the game, he lets the players decide the outcome and play it. Appreciates the positive play at this level. These kids have structures; they're playing positively, and it's one of those things. If you don't notice the referee, it's probably the best case scenario.
Nova Scotia driving here. Looking to try to get some early points here.
It's a nice offload out the back door there, yeah.
Yeah, as you said, Gino, they're the underdog in this one, but they're looking to draw first blood here in the early goings of this one.
Yeah, you could definitely see they're pumped up for this, playing in front of their home crowd. This was a really tight division this year. We had a three-way tie for first place. Had to get down to the second tie break to decide who would actually be in this gold medal match, with Eastern Ontario losing out based on number of tries scored between the teams. So we had a little knock on there, and we'll have a scrum down. Oh, sorry. We'll have a scrum down Nova Scotia ball.
Be good here for Nova Scotia if they can get this win here under.
Yeah, this would be the perfect start for them. The big number 8, Saeed Saif, should be interesting to see if he can punch one in here. I'd look for him to pick and take this on his own if they can get good quick ball. There he goes.
And drive it out. He's got the
and he's in
for the try, and that's a good start to get things underway here at about the 3-minute mark here to make it 5-0. And that was a good drive. And the thing that's also key in this is that if you're an underdog, you'd like to take some time off the clock, and they had an excellent drive there and did that. And so we're probably right around, as I say, right around with the 3 or 4 minute mark of this one, and they draw first blood. So a good start for Team Nova Scotia.
Yes, most definitely. That was the dream start, I think, for them. They were able to go down and put Newfoundland under pressure, take advantage of those miscues off those kicks, continue to maintain possession, and then punch it in over the line.
Cox here for the conversion, not wasting any time, but gets it up and in. Yeah. Some of the other matches that I've been calling, the place kicker has been taking his time to get things set, but Cox there just put it down on the ground and kick it and through, and another 2 points on the board and 7-0, and that's key.
Yeah, no, your conversions are key in this game. We know that Newfoundland has some excellent kickers, so you want to take full advantage of those tries and add those extras where you can.
And Newfoundland sends this one down deep. I haven't seen a lot of deep kicks. A lot of teams are doing the short ones throughout the tourney so far, but that's one of the deep ones, and Nova Scotia will come up with the ball there. And they've got numbers here on the side, and they'll kick it out to midfield. And back to get it is Porter now. And Porter up the middle, has his jersey pulled down and comes down.
Yeah, that was an awkward tackle for sure.
There's a little bit of a stiff arm there. Beautifully done by Barnes. The ruck there.
Little counter ruck. Oh, it's getting messy. Newfoundland secures it though.
And here they come.
Oh, a lovely little chip on.
So far, seeing some beautiful plays here by both teams at the early go, and covering up there is Ottoson for Team Nova Scotia.
We have another block kick. It looks like Newfoundland could take advantage and go wide with this. They have some space to the left.
Get in.
They need quick ball here. Oh, took it back there. Oh, turnover. I didn't see
Nova
that coming.
Scotia has it, but they're trying to get the get out of defending zone and try to get it out of there, and they try to go the other way or run into some maroon jerseys.
Yeah, looks like they've been able to secure that ruck, so now they're looking for a clearance kick here.
And
release
they
some pressure.
do, and back around near the 10-meter mark, and he's going to go.
It's take an opportunity to try the drop goal, but the referee had blown it up. He had offside. Offside called against Newfoundland, so we're going to have a penalty kick here for Nova Scotia.
The drop goal, of course, would have been wide, and not that close, but he was right from midfield, so probably don't see a lot of kicks from there really succeed in the sport of rugby too often.
No, we haven't had a drop kick yet this weekend at the tournament, so I think we're into this is game 27, I think. So that'd be the first attempt, but it wouldn't surprise me. He's been quite the kicker all weekend, has Angus Boyd Porter. So wouldn't surprise me to see him slot that. He's had some tremendous kicks. He's been man of the match in at least one of the games we've covered, and has a tremendous boot.
Line out here on the far side, and overthrown here, and that's something that we've seen a lot here this weekend as well, Gino, is just a lot of those line outs just overthrown and resulting in this opportunity here. And driving there's Wiscombe there down the far side.
Yeah, that was some great leg drive there. Yeah, and
into touch.
There's huge importance to win your own set piece here, and that overthrow is a killer when you lose balls on that overthrow. You want to win your own set piece to give yourself good possession and good go forward. And when you turn it over in your own end, you're just inviting the other team to score. So see if Nova Scotia can settle that down and hit the jumpers. Yeah.
Yeah, the line out there pretty good for Nova Scotia that time.
Oh,
a little turnover
pass back there.
Yeah, and they'll put the boot up. And it'll come back in the Newfoundland Labrador zone.
Yeah.
That's Cart now with some speed. Runs into a wall there of Nova Scotia. A nice open field tackle.
Yeah, that was a great tackle. A little knock on in the tackle, looks like. So we'll have a scrum for Nova Scotia.
And if he got that one, he might have been off to the races down the side. But a nice open field tackle there close to the midfield stripe there for Team Nova Scotia. So they're looking pretty good here. Probably right around about the halfway point of this one. And they're up 7. And I guess, I know you're involved with Rugby Nova Scotia, and you know that your team's good and you're the best in the world type thing and all that. But have you got to say that you're probably kind of shocked to see how well they're playing right now against a juggernaut called the Newfoundland Labrador team?
Yeah, definitely. I think I wouldn't say shocked because they have shown that they can play better than they did earlier in against Newfoundland. So. They're definitely doing a much better job at the rucks than they did the day before. They're really clearing the ball off, giving good clean ball for the 9 to play with or for the forwards to pick, and that's where Newfoundland really dominated in that pool play. So Looks like they've watched that film and adjusted to it, and are using the have identified that as an area that they need to attack, and to provide that better go forward ball.
Fitzgerald passed it to Lake there, and Nova Scotia with another win on that rock there. Trying to go up the middle, snuffed out, but they still have possession. And some nice passing here, short passes here, but as soon as you say that, of course, the drop pass there by McDonald follows up there, rumbling and getting it into danger territory here for Newfoundland Labrador. And they got numbers on the side. Here's Lake now, passing it over. That is a little bit of a bad pass, and of course there's a knock on. That will stop play right around about the 13-minute mark here of the first half, but just one bad pass, but otherwise a pretty good drive there for Nova Scotia, Gino.
Yeah, they're doing quite well there. The hands let them down. That was big Ethan Snell, number 4 for Nova Scotia, had that knock on, but he's been a force around the field. When he gets into open field play at 6'5", it's he's a big unit to take down, and he's running very well today.
Scrum deep down into the Newfoundland Labrador zone. As they try to, Hooker tries to get it out. Newfoundland Labrador has it. And with speed there was Porter. Pass it off just before he hit the ground. So play continues on, but we have a stoppage in play.
Yeah, we had that pass went just slightly forward on that offload. So we'll have a scrum down, Nova Scotia ball. It's just a little tiny bit forward there. So we'll see how Nova Scotia, see if they can take advantage of this set piece inside the Newfoundland zone.
If anything positive came out of that for Newfoundland Labrador is that brought the ball just outside the 22-meter line there, so not really within the defending area, so a little bit of breathing room here. Also a chance for them to win this and try to, get it out of their own end, but it's Nova Scotia that comes up with it, but boy, he had nowhere to go. He was stuffed there.
Yeah.
I believe that was McDonald on the far side.
Yeah, the flanker did a great job coming off the scrum and reading that ball out early, and was able to hammer the Nova Scotia 9.
He had nowhere to go. There was Fitzgerald. Oh, look at that. And loses the handle. It's on the ground. And in between the legs of the Newfoundland player. Not exactly how they had it drawn up, but it will work to their perfection as Barnes comes up the middle. He runs into a wall. He'll have to hand it off now. Ruck underway. And
so we're going to have a penalty here against Nova Scotia in from the side on that ruck. They just need to stay disciplined. There's no real need for that. They weren't going to win that ball, so better off to reset your defensive line and get ready to take on the next wave of tacklers and try and compete for a ball you have no chance of winning.
So now they're going to probably try to put this into touch, but that's not successful as Ottoson there was back, number 15, with the catch and bringing it up just shy of the 10-meter line. But Nova Scotia, a nice cut back in towards the middle. We'll pass it back. And nice hands there by Cox there, getting it past the 10-meter line.
And there's a counter ruck from Newfoundland that I was worried about seeing. And that, no need to do that by 8.
Yeah, that was
Safe Sinad.
Sinad, yeah.
Yeah, he's a try scorer, but that was there's no need to again come in up offside. Just set your defensive line and play your structure. But so we'll see a shot at goal here.
Once again, it's
from Boyd
Porter.
Yep. This is well within his range. He slotted a couple of these the other day. So Nova Scotia can't afford to be ill-disciplined within their own half, or Newfoundland will punish them with kicks.
So he'll get things here lined up, and it's just inside the 10-meter mark on the Nova Scotia side of field. Yeah. No wind right now, so.
Yeah, it's the first time all weekend the wind's really died down, which is great for the kickers.
See what he could do here. The boot is up, and
just not quite.
Yeah, had lots of height and lots of distance, but it just was about a foot wide.
Yeah, just wide right. So, but definitely within his range. So Nova Scotia will again have to be more disciplined in their own half. They can't continue to give away penalties. So yeah, that's the one thing that we haven't seen a lot of, kicks from beyond here in this weekend. But that one was just a foot wide, and Nova Scotia
will send it in to touch and over on Newfoundland side of field.
Yeah, another error there. Unfortunately, he kicked that directly into touch. So we're going to come back for Newfoundland will have a choice. We'll have a line out actually on the 22 by the looks of things. So it'll be a line out Newfoundland throw in. So that ball, if that ball had bounced and gone gone into touch, we would have a line out from where it landed. But unfortunately, it went out on the full. So they'll bring it back for a line out on the 22. It's a great attacking platform for Newfoundland.
So just when thought Nova Scotia would have a little bit of breathing room, they didn't get the bounce that they needed. So Newfoundland Labrador here within striking distance, looking to try to get this going, and the ruck is moving forward there. Newfoundland Labrador using their physicality to their advantage.
Yeah, they had a great take in the line out, and they were able to really drive that ball through.
Bryant couldn't handle the pass there.
Referees playing advantage here. What happened? We had the second infringement. We had offside. I thought Nova Scotia might have collapsed that maul. So as long as that maul is moving forward, the referee's going to let play continue. And I think Nova Scotia found themselves under pressure and collapsed it, but they were also offside in the backfield, so a double whammy there.
Burns, the ball carrier, tried to get through.
And he has scored.
In for the try to make it 7-5.
Yeah, that was a great reaction by Newfoundland. I think they caught Nova Scotia sleeping. They all kind of assumed he was going to go for the kick in front of the posts, and they gathered together, and Newfoundland quick tapped it and went wide and were able to score in the corner. So a little bit of a couple of little letdowns for Nova Scotia. Let Newfoundland sneak in and score that one. Well taken try by Newfoundland.
So they may be within the last 5 here of the first half, and Newfoundland looking to draw even here. And as you mentioned, Boyd Porter has been a strong, and he'll take this one here. And we've seen that this is easily in his range. It's just a matter of if he could split the uprights.
Yeah, the touchline conversions are always difficult at any level, so this is a kick that would give international kickers some issue. So we'll see what happens here.
And unlike Cox taking his time, the kick is up, and it's short.
Yeah.
So we'll stay at 7-5.
Yeah,
Nova Scotia over Newfoundland Labrador.
That wasn't his best strike of the ball, but again, he's been probably the class kicker of the tournament, so I expect he'll definitely play a role in this game as it goes on.
So 2-point game now. Let's say less than 5 here to go here in the first half. Definitely here on field number 1, one of the best matches we've had all day. A nice little bit of athleticism there by Pilon. He sort of slipped on a play and then ended up gaining his bounds and got a few meters before being set down. Now the Newfoundland Labrador, if they could break the side here, they may have a try. A couple of nice tackles here by Nova Scotia denied that one. They tried to get to the outside, and if they did, it would have been a try for sure for Newfoundland, but it was stopped, a partial block kick, and it comes back in midfield. Teams going end to end here. Great play between these two teams here as Nova Scotia just gets it into the 10-meter marker. Newfoundland Labrador. Now we have a stoppage.
Yeah, Penley's got a referee stopped. He's called play. He indicated Nova Scotia was going to be awarded to Penley, so we're just going to see what's okay. We must have blood on the player, so it looks like we're going to have a temporary substitution.
It would be Luke McGinnis that is going off there, I believe. For Nova Scotia to get stitched up. So we'll have some injury time to add here to this first half, and
well, perhaps it's not blood. I'm not quite sure what the stoppage is for.
Well, we have a player that's down, and you may be right, because it may be that player that's down on his knees, which looks for me Cox from this vantage point, but
yeah, we have difficulty with those numbers on the Nova Scotia jersey. That gold kind of melds into those gold stripes, and it becomes difficult to tell who's
He's up and feeling his senses here.
Okay, so the penalty was for diving over.
And Cox now here with the attempt to
the clearance into the Newfoundland.
The injured, the injured player was Campbell Burrows, number 13. That was a little bit shaky there. He seems to be okay. We'll stay on.
So Nova Scotia elected to kick that for touch. Now they'll have a line out where they can set their platform for attacks. This will be interesting to see if they decide to drive it much like Newfoundland did, or they go, and they do.
Yep.
A little unsuccessful, brought the ball down, but they were able to recycle it.
And moving up there was Burrows. He had a little bit of daylight, but it closed quickly. Here's Skinner now on the side. His pass intended for Cox, a little bit too far. Cox pass.
Oh, a little knock on. This is going to be dangerous. Yep. There's no one back for Nova Scotia.
It's a foot race. Who's going to get back in time? And it will be Skinner that gets it. And he'll kick it over the side. That just basically went from one side to the other and didn't really benefit or any.
Newfoundland knocked that onto the pickup, or else that player was on his way for a try. What you'd rather see there is have that player slide down on the ball, recover it, rather than kicking it rather aimlessly across the field where there could be more Newfoundland players waiting to pick it up. So this is a little bit of lack of experience there. It's something the coach, I'm sure, will talk to him about at halftime.
And it would have been a heck of a kick because he was going against the grain, because if he was going to go for it that way, a lot of bad things can do that. It's just
there was no good outcome for Nova Scotia on that. They got very lucky to have that knock on.
Nice scrum here. They won it. They're getting up to the 10-meter line.
Yeah, it was a nice little pick by the 9.
Fitzgerald there with the nice move. And once
Big
again,
Nathan
here's
Lake
Burr.
in the centers.
There's Lake.
Yeah.
Lake looking for some help.
And there it is.
And a nice stiff arm set up there.
Oh.
The ball's loose once again here, and Nova Scotia will come up with it. But boy, he had nowhere to go that time there. Livingston nowhere to go.
Great counter ruck. That was a great counter ruck by Newfoundland, and then the Nova Scotia player penalized for trying to push the ball back with his hands. So that was an excellent counter ruck by the Rock.
Rain's starting to come down here. So this could be a little bit of a factor going into the second half. It's still a close match for sure, 7-5, but rain starting to come down. And it has been predicted there would be some rain today. So the passing may be just a little bit off here when the second half gets underway. Of course, we've got to finish the first half, but we're in the dying minutes and seconds of this one here. Newfoundland with a chance here to try to go ahead. Nice null here. And Newfoundland Labrador moving the ball around. Pass a little bit too far out of the hands of Pilon.
That was some good line speed by Nova Scotia. Unfortunately, the Newfoundland was able to get that, or fortunately for Newfoundland, they were able to get that ball away. Oh, a little knock on.
There's the, and there's where the rain was a little bit of a factor now, because the ball's wet and the hands are wet, so it's maybe a little bit harder to catch the ball for sure. And some of the fans here are looking for drier ground that are here at the Truro Rugby Club.
Yeah, a little knock on there by Newfoundland, so we'll have a scrum down Nova Scotia ball. Yeah, Campbell Burrows for Nova Scotia looks like he's struggling a little bit. He's made some big runs, made some big hits, and he's getting slower to get up each time he makes a tackle. So I'm sure there'll be some concern on the Nova Scotia sideline for him.
Now, when you see hands on the knees of the Nova Scotia players, does that really concern you? Maybe conditioning, or is that just...
They've expended a great deal of effort, yeah. So they're just trying to get their air, and they know the scrum's being reset, so they have some time. We'd like to see them upright. Now they're starting to get there. We still have one down, but yeah, it's a little concerning at this point. You know, we are probably into extra time of this first half now, so it's important for Nova Scotia not to concede any more points before the half. Those points given up in and around the half kill you every time, so you want to make sure that they want to make sure they secure the ball and continue to go forward. They can't afford to give up a penalty here in a kickable position to Newfoundland.
Nova Scotia was a little bit of indecision at first. He was going to try to kick it into touch, but it didn't work out really well for him, and then started to go with it, and by the time he made a decision, there were some red and black jerseys there. As the referee blows his whistle, the end of first half there. Nova Scotia struck early for 7, and Newfoundland got a try, but they were unable to hit the hard conversion, so 7-5. Low-scoring one, definitely for sure, Gina.
Yeah, no, it's been both teams have good structures, good defensive structures, and Nova Scotia has definitely made some adjustments. Their line speed is much better this game than it was previously, and they're doing a good job keeping Newfoundland from counter-rucking. So it's I'd say this was a pretty successful half. Nova Scotia coaches will be pleased with what's happened. I'm sure the Rock coaches will have a few harsh words there. There's been some loose kicks and. But overall, I'd say Newfoundland held the balance of play in the second part of that first half. So we'll see what happens. It could come down to some bench players here, and who's got some strength coming off the bench to put some fresh legs in here in the second half and see what happens.
We should be in for a good second half, and we'll be back here in 3 or 4 minutes with that. You're watching the 2016 Eastern Canadian Rugby Championships here on Bell Line TV 1. Welcome back to Beltline TV1's continuing coverage of the 2016 Eastern Canadian Rugby Championships here on Beltline TV1. Teams are getting ready for second half action here. Newfoundland Labrador in the red and black stripes, and Nova Scotia in the navy and the gold here. Dan Hobson along with Gino Carew. And just before we get too far into this one, you've been heckled here to send a few shout-outs here on air to some of the folks here watching.
Yeah, it's great to see the support here, actually. So we have lots of teams that stuck around, and have a very vocal contingent of senior women and U16 girls sitting behind us. So led by the U16 assistant coach Lisa McGrath. They're out here giving their support towards the Nova Scotia team. So it's good to see them sticking around in the rain to see how these gold medal games turn out. But cleared a touch there by Nova Scotia. Didn't gain much ground with that kick, but did make it and did a touch. So we'll have a Nova Scotia line out. Newfoundland penalized there at that first strike of the second half for going off their feet.
Substitutions made for Nova Scotia. And
yeah, this is an area Nova Scotia struggled all weekend is with their lineouts. So they're either can't hit the back jumper, they're throwing over top, or they're having issues throwing it straight. So if you don't throw it straight, your opponent gets a choice. They can either have a line out again or a scrum. Newfoundland's elected for a scrum, so we'll see how that pans out for them. It's in a decent attacking position just inside the Nova Scotia half.
Boycott here with the ball and rolls it.
Little push by Nova Scotia, but as per law, they have to stop after that first meter and a half.
Follow it now with the ball, and he's brought down. Didn't get a lot of land with that one.
Yeah, Nova Scotia's going to be penalized. I think we have a dangerous tackle here. I thought he managed to tackle him down by the back of the collar, but no, he's calling in the 8, so he wants to have a chat with the 8 and the captain. Looks like he's going for the card.
There it is, the yellow card.
Very disappointing to see for Nova Scotia.
And
They'll discipline again.
And that's a tough break here early.
Yeah, that's going to put them under a lot of pressure. He's going to be gone for 5 minutes now. They'll have to play short. And it's in a kickable position, so Newfoundland has a chance to immediately take advantage and take the lead with this kick.
And Angus Boyd-Porter, one of the stronger legs here at the tourney so far, lining it up, and it's just about a few meters inside the 10-meter line and right down the middle. You should be able to kick it straight. No wind right now, and some of the rain that we were talking about near the end of that first half has stopped here for the meantime. Let's see if he can do it. Ball is up, and that's well wide and bounces out.
So we'll have a 22-meter dropout for Nova Scotia. So Boyd Porter hasn't had the consistency with his boot that we've seen throughout the rest of the tournament. That's the third makeable kick, I would say, that he's had, and he's missed them all. They've all been difficult kicks, mind you, but those were kicks he was slotting earlier in the tournament. So that's going to be a concerning factor for Newfoundland. Those are points that they can't afford to leave on the table.
And a nice little stiff arm there, and there once again, Boyd Porter there got his hand up in the air.
Yeah.
And our whistle stops play once again.
Yeah, I lost that ball on the attempt at pickup there. Just bobbled forward by Newfoundland before it was guided back. So we'll have a scrum down Nova Scotia ball with a further knock-on.
So there's still about 3 minutes left here in the Nova Scotia penalty here.
Yeah, I saw the coaches over earlier just talking to Saif and giving him a little pep talk. It's he is the try scorer. Is a very important part of the Nova Scotia side. So having him in the bin is definitely a disadvantage. Nova Scotia will do well if they're able to hold Newfoundland out during this period of play when they're shorter player.
And right there is Fitzgerald. He'll try to go to the far side there. Using his speed and rumbling and bumbling there right towards the far side there. was Team Nova Scotia, and now they're following up there. And once again, Nova Scotia, chance to, with some good passing, get it out. They try to kick
nicely
it in
done.
the touch. Not sure that's not how it drew up, but McIsaac with the nice hands there to come up with it and keep it in Nova Scotia's possession. But
Yeah, that's actually, he was trying to just chip the ball over top of the defensive line and regather. That was actually a tactical decision of his, so that was actually well done by him. As you just saw, the Newfoundland player shot up there and was a little bit offside, so the referees penalized him there. He almost had the interception, but he was definitely up there quickly, and the referees judged he was too quick.
I was looking at thinking that he was going to try to get it into touch there, but sometimes you see something that you haven't seen in rugby, and that's.
No, I mean, I think that's the first one we've seen all weekend, so it's definitely not a tactic that is used at this level very often.
It's out of the bag of tricks type thing, pull it out every once in a while.
Oh yes, definitely. It's just difficult to execute the little chip and regather, so that was well taken in the end.
You must be enjoying this as a rugby lover, seeing like all the things that you haven't really seen a lot over the weekend, the kicks and everything, and just that last little play there by Nova Scotia. It's just
it's been pretty tremendous all weekend to see. We have over 500 participants at the event this year, and it's been a tremendous weekend of rugby.
That was a nice handoff there.
Lost forward, unfortunately, trying to force that one.
McIsaac just handed it right into the breadbasket there, the Cox, and he was going wide. And as you mentioned, going to be
scrummed down with Newfoundland ball. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So like I was saying, 480 over 480 participants, and to see the number of parents and friends here, it's been a great success. We're very happy with the way the tournaments turned out so far. So we have an interesting one of the interesting wrinkles of the U19 law. So while Nova Scotia has a player in the sin bin, Newfoundland must match, as he's a forward, Newfoundland must have the same number of players in the scrum. It's just a safety issue. So they have to depower the scrum. So they've actually dropped. They're required to drop their number 8, and that's what they've done.
It looked pretty good for Newfoundland Labrador to get possession of that, but it ends up being Nova Scotia, and they bring it just inside midfield. And now they get the passing game underway, and they're still right around midfield. And Newfoundland's going to come up with the ball on a turnover, and they're going to go wide with it on the sideline. Running out of real estate, and then goes in to touch here.
Yeah, he was bundled into touch, but that was a good counter ruck again by Newfoundland to secure that ball and get good go forward possession.
So, overtime rules here in rugby. Explain it to the folks at home and those who are new to rugby or even old.
Yeah, so that's a very good possibility. We have a 7-5 game, so we could end up with a 10-10 tie possibly if we have a kick and another try. So it's a possibility. So it's different at this level because players are only allowed to play 90 minutes a day at this age grade. It's fairly restrictive on time what we can do. So what will happen is if this game does end in a tie, we will have 2 periods of sudden victory. 2 5-minute periods with a 1-minute halftime in between. So there'll be a coin toss to decide ends, and then again it's a sudden victory situation. So whichever team scores first will win the game at that point. If we happen to be still tied at that point, then things get a little more complicated. So we look at it comes down to in the end number of it'll come down. It could come down in the end to who scored first. In which case Nova Scotia actually has the advantage here, but before that it's number of tries. So and then number of converted tries would be the next tiebreaker after that. But hopefully we won't have that situation. So we got a penalty here against Nova Scotia for hands in that ruck. Be interesting to see what they decide to do here. Newfoundland having missed a few kicks. Looks like they're going to put it in the corner and trust their line out.
Into touch now here. Deep down in Nova Scotia area.
Yeah, this is definitely the danger zone for Nova Scotia. So I would expect Newfoundland's made good use of the driving maul off their lineouts, and I would expect to see Nova Scotia prepare for that. Maybe not try to contest in the air, but to drive Newfoundland back if and when they can catch it and control possession.
Huge line out here. See if Newfoundland Labrador can execute this. Big spot here in this match, and
no, they decided to come down and off the top. They didn't drive it that time. I'm surprised by that choice.
They're going backwards the other way with it here, but they have some numbers here on the side as they get to execute.
Oh,
of course,
someone
Sims
shot
there.
up there, left a gap. Can't shoot out of that defensive line. You need to come up together.
And they're going to be in for the try, and they're going to get their first lead here of the match.
Yeah, that was a well-taken try in the end. As you saw, Nova Scotia players shoot up out of the line and try and either intercept the ball or make the tackle. But
as a result, there's an injured player down, and it looks to be Angus Boyd Porter from this vantage point. And he's getting up, and he seems to be okay, so you just have to give himself a little bit of a shake here and get ready to kick the conversion there.
Yeah, Rock physio Kevin Parfrey's over having a little chat with him, making sure he's okay before he takes this. He's going to take this conversion as well, so want to definitely make sure he's good to go.
And the thing is that pretty well most of the action all weekend, hasn't been really quick with the kicks. You know, he's taken his time, has been cool, so he's have to take a little bit more time here.
Yeah, once the tees arrive, I mean, the referee has some discretion here. He has a minute and a half to complete his conversion, but I'm sure the referee is going to give him enough time to do this, having just scored that try and then come up a little woozy. So
3-point game right now with the chance to make it a 5-point one. He's definitely had the leg throughout the weekend. But this one is going to be just a little short. Yeah. So we'll stay out of a 5-point lead here for Newfoundland Labrador. 3-point lead, 10-7. So we've seen a lot of offense in some of the games earlier today, throughout the day, but this one's a little low scoring. So low scoring, I think, would probably definitely be benefit to Nova Scotia.
Yeah, Nova Scotia would like to keep it tight. Obviously, I'm sure they would prefer a large lead, but they need to get back into this game and take some positive from this kickoff.
Kickoff goes right down the middle, bounces to Bryant. Quickly kicked back out.
Oh, it was bobbled there on the pickup, so he had a little knock on, which will mean Nova Scotia will take something positive from that kick and have a attacking scrum just outside the 22. So very good position for Nova Scotia to attack in the center of the park. There's lots of options open there.
Teams are even strength now.
Looks like they've stacked that left-hand side, so there's a good possibility there may be a pick here by the big number 8. There's lots of space off to the right, so it's definitely a possibility. We'll see that here.
So while we have a little stoppage here, just another reminder about the Sideline Scoop tomorrow morning, 8:40 on CTV Morning Live with Cyril Lunny and Bell Line TV1 Scott Squire. So tune in. We'll have some footage of this championship as well, soccer action and swimming, all taking place this week and this weekend. Streamed live here on Bell Line TV1, and Cyril and Scott will talk about it tomorrow morning on CTV Morning Live, once again at 8:40.
So that ball just came straight out of that scrum, so the referee will pack it down, and we'll have it put in again by Nova Scotia.
Huge moment once again in this match here. And time, of course, getting to be a little bit of a factor for both teams here.
So that was a big pick, as we thought might happen. So a penalty awarded there to Nova Scotia.
They're deep down in the Newfoundland Labrador zone here.
It's an interesting decision now for Nova Scotia what they're going to do. It looks like they're going to tap this penalty, so I'm a little surprised. They've got a decent kicker. We're pretty close in. You're down by 3. Opportunity to tie the match there. It looks like they're going to rely on their power, try and drive this ball in.
Trying to go for at least a lead here. And it's Newfoundland Labrador that comes up with the ball and blocked again right into the hands of a Nova Scotia player. Here's Skinner now, and his play stopped once again.
Yeah, so the referee's ruled that wasn't a block kick. He's going to call it a knock-on from the Nova Scotia player. So it's one of the little idiosyncrasies in rugby laws that depends on how the distance that you're away from the kicker. So he was adjudged to be too far away for it to be an actual attempt to block. So by not catching it cleanly, we'll have a scrum down for Newfoundland. Some fresh legs coming in here for Newfoundland now.
Say they're just inside the 22-meter line here for this scrum.
Well controlled by Newfoundland.
And Porter out with the boot.
That's a great clearance. Cleared up to half now.
Into touch there for a line out.
Yeah, that was a good clearance by Newfoundland. Able to clear their lines that way, take off, relieve some of that pressure. So Nova Scotia may rue taking that tap penalty as opposed to trying to take those 3 points. You get your chances, especially in a gold medal game. You wanna take that shot at goal, tie things up, put some pressure back on Newfoundland. That's a much better lineup by Nova Scotia.
They're trying to get it along the far side. They run right in to a couple of Newfoundland Labrador tacklers there, and still right along the midfield. And some of the Newfoundland Labrador players there from other teams here just watching on and showing their appreciation for the effort here for these under 18 men.
Yeah, we had a little knock on there by the Nova Scotia 9 on the pickup, so we'll have a scrum down and Newfoundland ball. So another sub in now for Newfoundland.
Nova Scotia getting some instructions from the line judge here, allowing them to move up some here during this scrum.
Yeah, at a scrum time, the defensive back line has to be 5 meters back. So Nova Scotia was about 10, so he's just letting them know they can come up to that 5 meter.
Porter with the ball, with some speed and a stiff arm there, going down the field, and rumbling and bumbling and dragging a couple of Nova Scotia tacklers, and then following up there's Boycott.
Yeah, the referee was playing advantage there. He didn't think it was so dangerous he had to blow it up right away, but it was definitely a high tackle. So he's going to penalize them for that. Newfoundland will have a choice to, looks like they're going to go quick, try and catch Nova Scotia napping again.
Oh, that was a nice move there by Sutton there as he's coming in, a substitute here, and he's a big forward there. There's Porter with the ball. He'll swing it over. Burns now over to Oak. Oak trying to get wide. And now rolls out the end line.
Looks like there's been a penalty again here, so the referee's gonna bring in his assistants here. Something's happened behind the play. He needs to check with him and see what's happened. So they'll have a little chat. It's always good when the match officials are mic'd and they can work in a team of 3. It just gives the referee an extra couple sets of eyes to see what's going on. And with 30 players on the field, there's always something going on at any point in time. So players must be aware of that as well. So it's you're not going to get away with things in a game like this that you might in other games.
Calling over captain here from Team Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
So after having a conversation with both line judges, and Newfoundland Labradors running down the field here, so.
Yeah.
It's Nova Scotia ball here.
So it looks like they weren't quite sure how when the ball was kicked into the end goal if it had gone off a Nova Scotia player before it entered the end goal. So it obviously hasn't. The ball's gone dead, put in by Newfoundland. So we'll have a 22-meter dropout. That's gone back, so we'll play on.
A little bit too hot to handle there for Porter, but he gets a nice stiff arm. He's been pretty good at that. Porter also does the kicking here for this team, runs into the wall.
That's a great choke tackle from Nova Scotia. They're going to try and hold him up, have a maul called, and not have to release. Well done. So that's a tactical decision there. They decided not to take him to ground. They had extra players there. They're able to execute what we call a choke tackle and just prevent the player from going to ground. Creates a maul, and if the ball doesn't come out of the maul, Nova Scotia gets put into the scrum.
Now, the Newfoundland Labrador player said a minute and a half, so that's where we might be here. And a little bit of injury time as well to go along with it. But lead that's not really comfortable, but Newfoundland Labrador looking pretty good here to win the under-18 men's championship. Within the dying minutes here, scrum underway. Whistle stops play once again.
Yeah, we'll have a reset. The ball came straight out again. So Nova Scotia's being put under some pressure by Newfoundland at these scrums, and it's difficult to get that ball in and out for them. So this is a great spot for Newfoundland to be, actually. Nova Scotia trapped in their own end. There's no threat of them scoring from here without something drastic happening. So they'd be content to play the rest of this game in the Nova Scotia half for sure.
A big scrum here. Nova Scotia, and that's an easy knock on the goal as he just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Under U19 laws, that scrum can't wheel more than 45, and once it does, it's just a reset. But yeah. He allowed play to continue, and the Nova Scotia player knocked the ball on trying to pick it up. So we'll have a scrum down here for Newfoundland now.
Well, while we're in this near the dying seconds of this one, I want to thank you as well as thank all of the colleagues that I've had a chance to work with over the last 3 days on this. This is my last broadcast, and I thank you on a well-run championship here in Truro, and thank you for your assistance for the broadcast. And Nova Scotia just coming up maybe a little bit shy in this one, but definitely a great effort here this afternoon.
And that's the game.
There it is, folks. Your under-18 men's Eastern Canadian Rugby champions, Newfoundland Labrador.
Yeah, that's a great finish. They well-deserved. They've been a class team all tournament. They've done very, very well. The Nova Scotia boys will be a little gutted with that. I think they've definitely lifted their level of play for this game. I think they're going to really look back and rue that little tap penalty near the post late in the half. They had the chance to just strike that through and take and tie the game at that point. But it's a matter of experience and trusting your kicker and trusting yourself. So the players backed their own and took that tap. So that's it's an aggressive play, but in the end it may have cost them an opportunity to extend this game into an overtime period. But not to take anything away from Newfoundland and Labrador, they're definitely well-deserved champions. It's been a great tournament for them. They've played extremely well. They had one little hiccup early on day 2 against Eastern Ontario, but other than that, it's a pretty flawless tournament for them. So I congratulate them, and just thanks